Hi, I'm Molly. I'm going to be playing the character of Gorge. Gorge, hey, how are you? Oh, my pronouns are she, her, and Gorge's pronouns are the same.
And I'm Micah from Scotland, just to brighten things up a bit. And I will be playing.
And last but not least, we have Micah.
I'm Micah. I'm playing Molly Fox, intrepid hunter. And my pronouns are she, her, and so are my characters, to keep it simple.
There you go. All right. So, apparently someone in the chat can't hear us. So, that's not good. Okay. Okay. All right. Welcome back. Okay. You can all hear us. Would be good. And all right. So we begin. You are in the province of Agudnam. It's a small hick province on the edge of the empire. In the outer provinces, it's quaint, not a lot of tech. They're very big on avoiding the corporations. Bowed to the emperor at the end of the Shadow War, kind of tries to mitigate a lot of the empire. So there's a decent amount of magic, not a lot of tech. It's quaint. And the capital is called Zentown, and you're staying there. And you all got a summons, an offer, if you will, from Marcia Cuthlan, wife of a local merchant who is well known in the area, but and does imports and exports. He's a dealer in enhanced butter, among other things, and generally known for making deals with people outside of the province. And he has gone missing, apparently. This is supposed to be on the down low, mind you. The note was very specific on that. But you each have a note, and you are all summoned to a meeting. I'm guessing you're all going? I mean, I guess you could not go, but that would kind of...
I imagine Molly probably finishes off the cigarette she always seems to be holding, stubs it out, blows out a great wreath of smoke, sighs heavily, and goes to ask for directions, since she doesn't know the town very well.
Professor Lutwidge has had it marked on his calendar for months. He wouldn't miss it for the world.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Or weeks, I guess.
Had the calendar. Yeah. So, what? Yeah. There's a small local inn called the Blue Wren, and run by a woman who kind of looks at you. Directions, you say? To where? Your name is Molly, right? You were staying here?
Bad technical issues here.
Okay. What was that again?
So, round the table, favorite food.
Okay.
Molly.
Oh my gosh.
That is not good.
Number one with a bullet, had it
Um,
today, my comfort food, buffalo chicken pizza. I am unabashedly
Unless
a
something's wrong on
Western
this
New York
end.
girl, and I will live and die by my buffalo sauce.
Okay, it looks like we're having some sort of
What about
technical
you?
difficulty.
Al.
Give me a minute. I'm very sorry to all of you.
Al.
Okay.
I'll do me last.
Okay.
Yeah, today is apparently technical difficulty day. There you go. You're back. Good.
Yay.
All right.
Bad?
Yay. Okay. So you were at the Blue Wren. I was gonna say you guys are probably those of you who don't live in the province, which the professor there is a University of Zentown. It's a small university,
Oh,
but
that
you
little
are a
icebreaker
professor
fell
there.
flat really rapidly.
And
I was like, what? What was
My
your
favorite food is not
Yeah.
haggis.
I cannot hear Lee.
yeah, because you guys not hear me. Oh, well, that's not
I
good.
can hear it.
Oh, beautiful. Well, that is Oh. Okay. Well, then I pop out and pop back in, and that should fix it.
Sorry if anyone is watching this and wondering what's going on. I will now perform my dance of the 7 veils.
Oh, yay. I was so
You're the
excited
robot.
for this. Come on, Molly. Ooh.
Oh.
I do like the hat, though. The hat is great, Dad.
It's a good hat.
Sorry
It
about that,
doesn't
Lee.
show up. I've got the little handkerchief too. Just gotta channel the professor.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. So, setting the scene. Molly is kind of hanging around at the bar, I'm guessing, and is going to ask for directions, you said?
Yep.
All right. The person you would ask would be the barkeep. A human woman with a kind of bun at the back, kind of frazzled looking bun at the base of her neck. Where was that? Where did you want to go? I can provide directions to most places around town.
I honestly don't really know, Hen. Here you go. I'll just hand over the letter.
Oh.
You can read,
uh,
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, phew.
I should not be looking at this. I think keeping discretion is a good idea. To go to the Castellan Manor, you would go out the door, up, and it's straight up along the main road, and then there's the 10 down street. If you turn left and head up the hill, and it's right at the top. You'll see it. It's the biggest house at the end of 10 down street. It's a well-known manor. They're the richest people around, and yeah, just at the up at the end of 10 down street with the turn right. You can't miss it. It's quite prominent. I would be careful who you show this letter to. Just okay.
Molly looks askance at the dubious patrons of the bar and then just rolls up the letter, slips it inside her buxom, comedically proportioned toon bosom, where it disappears into her hammer space, and stubs out her cigarette once again, which always seems to be in her hand whenever she transitions scenes for some really strange reason, and wanders out of the bar and goes to follow the vague but confused directions of the barkeep, heading up the hill,
Yeah.
past 10 Downing
Um,
Street, and to the mansion.
And so
Yes, and you see at the top now. So, yeah, you see the big the mansion at the top of the hill, and you can see the professor there. Everyone else is
Actually-
also going, I'm guessing. Kadzu and Gorge.
The professor, the professor is actually a bit turned around. He might be close. This is his hometown, but he's sort of just rambling about, talking about. Would somebody please help an old man?
Yeah,
My
Grims, where are you
favorite
going?
food.
I seem to be trying to get to a manor here. I think it's in the area, but
Oh, you mean the old Cuthlon place? Oh, you got dealing with the old man
yes,
Cuthlon.
yes, of course.
He's good. He married. I heard he married someone from out of town. She's like big news. The corpse that the high prince is keeping out. She's got one of them. She's got blood ties to one of them. I hear. Anyway, you go up there, turn onto 10 down the street, and just keep going up in the end, and then the hill. You know,
Big news, yes, of course.
Let's
Silly
do it.
me. I remember that now. Thank you. And the professor, heads off.
Yeah, sure thing. All right. So professor's there. Kadzu and Gorge. Are you heading up to the manor? You received the letter. It says go today.
okay, so kind of hearing the way I picture this, Gorge would be sitting at the probably at the same bar, the same seedy establishment, with a kind of heavy black cloak over her shoulders and this shock of bright green hair with a shaved side, as like kind of a passing a moment of recognition passes across her eyes as she hears this smoky interaction occur at the bar. She'll ding her bracelets together and she'll kind of feel the pulse in them, and then she'll kind of walk a good distance behind the transitional smoker, and just kind of keep an eye to get a feel for who are these people. And you'll see kind of slung across her back are this really large this really large pike with this really sharp silvery blade on the end of it, and a much smaller spear, and she kind of always has this glued to her back.
Okay. Mysterious cloak figure following the very obvious tune. And Katsu. Would you be staying at the bar?
Well, for
Blue
some
Ren
reason,
is not
I
the
am
premier place to
making,
stay, but it is the cheapest. And
pi-
there's a few other inns in town as well.
pineapple and tofu.
And I will say you probably know the
Spicy skewers.
Cuthlon clan. Probably met Arthel Cuthlon before. So yeah. Are you heading up? You got the letter asking for help from his wife, and she's asking nicely, are you gonna go? This would be much better if I could hear you. I'm very sorry. Uh-huh. Okay.
Can
Yeah.
Can you hear us, El?
Yes. I'm guessing that's a yes. Okay.
We cannot hear you. You know, I think we had
No.
issues with this on the last stream. I was on the Legends of Otari. I forget what the new name for it is. Anyway, they wound up using the Discord audio. The question is, can the audience hear everyone?
Yes, that would be a good question. Elle is going to come back in, go out and come back again, and then I think that would be a plan.
I really thought I'd be the one with the connection
That fixed it
issues,
last time.
being the person in the other continent.
Yeah. Well, yeah. True.
Yes.
And I'm just glad that. Okay. Yes, we can hear you. So, what you were saying up there. Yes. All right.
Obtrusive as possible with a hood covering his very round form. And you would, but the first thing is you wouldn't see Cass, is you would smell him, because you'd smell like a very strong smell of rose, like because he's bathed himself in perfume to try and cover his own natural scent. So he would be like hidden in the corner of the bar, and his approach to most of these interactions meeting new people is to hide, to sit and observe, and then maybe like use music as a way to get people on his good side.
Uh-oh, we've got lag.
Okay. More lag?
I heard everything perfectly, ultimately.
Great.
So
Don't know where from.
Yeah. I did as well. So, yeah. So you watch as you see Molly slide the letter across, and it is exactly, you can recognize the paper. That's the one you received, and you overhear, Cuthlon, the merchant, and you're like, oh, him, I remember him. And so yeah, you have the summons. They're not cats. Yeah, you have the summons. And you I'm guessing are actually we should do the first roll of the game. Because yeah, let's roll some dice. I'm
Everyone
roll a
or
perception check.
everyone or just him?
ladies and gentlemen, the
yep.
first roll of the game.
Do the die need to be Sorry, are we all rolling?
Yeah.
Do the die need
No,
to be
just
visible on
Cass.
screen? Oh,
No, I think that's fine. I trust you guys aren't gonna cheat too much. Go on. Perception is wisdom, and then if +2 if you're proficient. Can't hear you again. Oh dear. Okay, I think we can do that. All right, should we stay on? Okay. Hi. Yes. We are having some technical difficulties, so we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Perfect time for a bio break, if you need one. And then we're going to try to re-maneuver the audio into a form you guys can hear. So 5-minute break. name is Lee, and if you've been watching, you know we've had a little audio complication. So we're back. We fixed the audio more or less, and so the stream is Wonderland Complications. It's an all on the table show on the Transverse, and we have met some of our main characters. They are making their way toward the big manor, Cuthlon Manor, at the top of the hill on 10 Down Street. It's belongs to a merchant and his wife, and they've all gotten summons from his wife saying that he's missing, but to keep it on the down low and come and talk, helping her find them. So they're all, if you know, did some introductions. They're all on their way there. More or less, we actually have our first roll so far, a perception check from Cass, and we'll get the results of that in just a minute. I'm going to have the players redo the introduction since apparently that was part of our audio issue. So first, we have Molly. If you want to introduce yourself and your character.
Molly, I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing the role of Gorge. Gorge, oh, hey, how are you? Who is a Ikari paladin. And you kind of, her calling card is a shock of bright green hair with hazel eyes. And their prominent kind of set of pole arms on her back as a dark cloak just underneath them.
Cool. And then we have Elle. Introduce yourself and the character. Elle, can you hear us?
Elle is muted on Discord.
I totally muted myself on Discord just to make things more complicated and confusing for everybody.
Right.
Hi, my name's Elle. I'm great at technology. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm playing Cass Kasumatsu, a Yum Yum bard, and his pronouns are he, him.
All right. That.
My name is Thad. He, they pronouns. He is preferred. And I am playing Professor Arthur Lutwidge, a old and distinguished professor of Wonderland linguistics.
Okay, and last but not least, we have Micah, our Scottish friend.
I'm Micah. My pronouns are she, her, and I will be playing Molly Fox. Drop dead, gorgeous tune when you look at her at first, but as soon as she opens her mouth, you realize she's a completely repugnant individual.
All right. Sounds good. So, we have a roll. I asked to roll a perception check. What'd you get?
I got an 18.
Ooh, all right. So yeah, you do notice that you notice up at the bar, Molly's sliding the paper over, and you do notice that there's this kind of cloaked figure. You kind of been keeping an eye on things, and you notice she kind of taps her bracelets together, which is a little weird, and then kind of follows. But you notice she's kind of keeping distance. Not sure what that is, but it's mildly suspicious. But it's just about time for your meeting with Marcia Cuthlon. Are you gonna go?
Yeah, she's following. Who's she following? Sorry, clarify for me.
So you would be following
Following
Gorge,
Molly?
who is following Molly, because you notice Gorge following Molly in a weird, sneaky way, and then.
Okay, I will bring up the rear. Like, I want to be the last person to like sneak through the door before the door closes. Vibe.
Okay, so we got a whole train of people spaced out trying to not be noticed, and by each other. And they're heading up 10 down the street, and there's you notice houses start to get nicer and nicer, and at the very end, up on this hill, there is a mansion that is very clearly the nicest house in town. At the end of the street, and you're like, that's the one. And the professor is kind of up there just a little bit before, and arrive at the gates.
Could I make a perception check to see if I notice the fact that I'm being followed by a train of weirdos?
Sure. Yeah.
That's 18 plus 4, so that's 22.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have two. You kind of glance behind you, and you notice figure in a cloak with green hair who's you're like you've hunted enough as a that's your thing. So you know when people are stalking prey and you're like, huh, she's following me. And then you see behind her another figure in a cloak and you're like, are someone following the person following me? Like, okay.
She's
that
gonna
what you want?
get. I should probably give a more full description of Molly now. Now that I know you've all been watching her in the bar, she's clearly a toon. She's clearly made of animated ink and drawn in a very classic sort of 1930s cartoon bell style. She has like what do you call them, like copper colored finger rolls, like that sort of 1930s hairstyle, and she's wearing sort of tan explorer's hat. She has a shirt that has been tied up under her breasts in a ridiculously cartoonish fashion, and like a set of sort of long khaki sort of shorts and a big pair of boots on her feet. She also always seems to have a cigarette in her between her fingers. She takes a draw on it, turns around, drops it, crunches it under her booted feet, puts her hands on her hips, and just says, "You know, is it daytime? It's daytime, right?
Yes.
You know, there's nothing more conspicuous in broad daylight than sneaking around with cloaks over your heads."
Yeah. It is about 3 in the afternoon. So, mid-afternoon. It was afternoon tea was the way the letter was coached. So 3, 4-ish, somewhere in between them.
If you're trying to
Oh.
keep a low profile, you're doing a bad job.
Yes,
Well,
and it is
I'm, and so Gorge will walk up and say, I'm just taking my leads on subtlety from you, showing do not show letters to bartenders. I'm just trying to learn what you have to teach me.
Oh, Ken, I'm not trying to be subtle.
Oh,
Are you
okay.
going to the same place I am?
Oh, yes.
Is that
Yeah,
what we're
I'm
doing
bored.
here? What about those two chuckleheads down the road there? What do
I
you
don't
think?
know. I'm concerned about the man that seems to be stumbling over the cobblestones. But this person well behind me, I'm not sure. I got a couple wafts as the wind blew past them. It was quite an odor, but maybe it was a soup.
Listen. Do you smell something?
Ducks behind a barrel.
Hello, barrel person.
Ciao. Hello.
Oh, I speak a little bit of this.
Hello.
Como shava.
Ah, sì, good.
Oh,
You are going to the meeting?
Yes. My name is Gorge, and this is.
Hello.
Oh. I'm Molly.
Hello. My name is Cass.
Cass.
And this whole time has been hiding. You cannot see their face. Like they do not want you to know who they are, like what they are. But we'll talk to you. But very much poking through their hood.
I'm sorry to say you're not really managing this whole stealthy, clandestine, mysterious figure thing.
If I didn't have to, I wouldn't.
Are you wanted?
In some places, in others, no.
Okay, well, me too. I guess that fits many of us.
So, it's normal to keep things discreet, shall we say.
Well, we can do discreet. I think.
Did you get the letter?
And kind of pulling out of her sleeve, but from behind the bracelet, will come out the letter, and it's the same seal that you'll have
you see like a hand grabs for it. The hand is like very yellowy in color and has like lots of like little pits in it and seems kind of soft. And there seems to be like little things on it. Sort of goes and like grabs for the note and says, yes, it is the same.
Yes. Would you like something? Would you like maybe we can stop by like a public bath and you can wash whatever that is off your hand?
Oh, water, and I do not no running water for me.
Okay. I don't think I haven't seen any plasmoids. Usually they keep an even pace.
Yes, I'm not a plasmoid.
Right. Hang on just a second. So just let's get this straight. You all got a weird letter from someone called Martian Cumfire?
Martian
know.
Kushtar.
Martian Kushtar?
Yes. Martian Kushtar 420 was how she signed it.
Right. Okay, so we're going the same place to meet the same person at the same time.
Yes, I believe they are a was this regarding the merchant of and whispers very conspiratorially, enhanced milk?
I don't know. I didn't really read it properly. I presume they want to hunt something or find something. That's the only reason anyone employs me to do anything. Look, should we help that old guy? He really looks to be in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Oh, well, hello there.
You all right there, old man?
Yes, I seem to be looking for the mansion of Marcia something.
Aye, that's where we're all going. It's this way.
Oh,
I will begrudgingly offer the old man a hand and try to. I'll actually be just trying to hurry him along because Molly's extremely impatient, and it looks like she's doing a nice thing at first, but then it just becomes apparent she's really impatient. It's practically pushing him up the hill.
The professor kind of smiles with a little bit of a laugh and a knowing twinkle in his eye, and takes the hand and gives a little tip of the hat. Hello there. My name is Professor Arthur Lutwidge. Pleased to meet all of your acquaintance. I couldn't help but overhear some of your conversation earlier. And he says something to all of you. Well, he says, nice to meet you, but he says it again in Thieves' Cant.
Okay.
He gives you a little wink. I'm a professor of linguistics. Collector of languages.
Buongiorno, signore.
Pleasure to meet. I admit my French is a bit rusty, but think you'll find I've got a fair few under the boot. Shall we make our way?
Now I just feel stupid. Okay, let's go.
Andiamo. I am sorry about the smell. Some some people find the smell a little bit strong, so I try. I have this nice perfume. I don't know if you. I really like it. It's rose.
Is that? I was going to say, is that rose petals with just a hint of toenail cheese?
I was going to say Stiltsbury.
Yes, that is what you are smelling. Yes, gets very like red, though you can't see it. You can only see like a little bit of red on his hands.
Well, what an interesting fragrance. Let's get a move on, shall we?
Fans away flies.
Well, I find it to be quite a delightful smell. It reminds me of some of the meals I've had from some guests overseas. Delightful.
Uh,
And a nice rosewater tea.
And so Gorge will kind of be like, can I try to help you real quick? Like maybe we can get those at like the things that are crawling around in you. Maybe we can get them out. Like I've been able to do that for other people.
No, it is fine. Those are lovely bracelets you have. Could you, tell me more about your bracelets?
Oh, good things come with time, friend. I'm looking forward to learning about you too.
I see. Well, one good turn deserves another, as they say.
And so let's turn right up here and go up to the mansion.
Excelente.
Okay.
Yeah.
Router's reset. So I'm back. Excellent roleplay. And you guys head up. And you can see that you have two uniformed footmen in like very strict livery. The tailcoats and the stockings and the just like very formal looking, just standing at the gate. And when you arrive, they kind of nod. And the right one says, "You are expected guests of Mrs. Cawthon, yes?
Yes, of
Wow.
You
course.
are the four expected guests."
Molly just ignores the question and just goes, "Well, aren't you a tall glass of water?"
I always did
Kind
love
of-
a man in stockings.
It kind of you can see the one on the left is kind of fidgeting with his cravat, like and kind of looks at the other, who kind of rolls his eyes.
The professor
"Oh, sure."
smiles and shakes his head. You'll have to excuse my companions here. They're very young.
Right. You'd better go in. I wouldn't be. Kind of looks at the other. It wouldn't be prudent to be seen flirting with guests. And he nods quickly, and they pull the gates back. There's a long driveway, and kind of a walkway up. And you come to these steps. They stone steps up to the top. Gorgeous door carved with geometric patterns, just really nice dark wood. Who kind of bows and says, "Please come in. Welcome. You are the expected guests." Mr. Say,
I got this letter. I hand over the letter.
that would be
The professor
yes,
also pulls
that
his
would
out
be
from a breast pocket and removes his hat. And is there somewhere I should put this? Very.
Yeah. There's a coat rack right here. I can
Thank
stash
you.
it here for you if you wish. If any of you wish to divest coats or cloaks, like I could take your cloaks if you want.
No, va bene, no, grazie.
Molly,
very
just
much.
without any further prompting, takes off her hat, takes off her jacket that's like over her shirt. It's kind of like a long duster, and just drapes it over the staff like they were coat racks themselves, and then just wanders on in, smoking another cigarette again that's
Okay.
appeared from nowhere.
Just
She's kind of fumbles her hat, coat, kind of put it back on the tree, and turns up, and she kind of turns to Gorge. Would that be all right? I suppose you could keep it if you wanted, but it's rather warm inside.
no, I'll keep my clothing on. Thank you.
As you wish. Follow me. And she kind of leads you to a parlor. And it's laid out with a fine tablecloth and tea. Very nice teacups, just 4 settings, and a plate of cookies or biscuits, as just kind of lined up. And you see a woman blonde hair in a very neat, like a two braids kind of that braiding into each other, kind of this kind of elaborate hairstyle, kind of in a green dress. Very fancy looking, kind of gestures. Please come in. You would be Professor. We've met before.
Gives a bow.
Welcome.
You must be Marcia, charmed. I mean, yes, Marcia, charmed.
A pleasure. And would be Gorge. I've heard good things about you. And welcome. I understand you had some business dealings with. I heard of you through the professor, and I thought perhaps you would have the skills needed to sort this out. And we have. You are Cass. I heard you were having. You had business with my husband. I'm afraid we never met properly, but. My name is Marcia. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Enchanted, I am sure.
Yes, and you, I've heard you're quite the hunter of Miss Fox, I believe?
That's what they tell me. If there's anything worth hunting, I'll kill it. Or catch it. Whatever you want, really.
I would very much hope.
Upon
Please don't
hearing
kill
this,
my husband.
upon hearing this,
So-
Gorge will get like red in the face and like will be like, anything worth hunting, and she'll just blush.
Then before there's any chance for the host to say anything more, Molly will just go very rudely. Is that scran on that table? Can I have some of that?
Yes, tea and
Oh,
yes,
brilliant.
I prepared for you. Yeah, go for it. But I please don't kill my husband. I that's why I summoned you all here. Professor, you're an expert in Wonderland. And I heard rumors that Gorge was hoping to get to Wonderland. So I thought maybe this was an opportunity given the circumstances, and I was hoping you could find my husband. It might align with your interests. And Katsu, I heard you had some magical skill, and given that you had dealings with my husband, I thought maybe you'd be willing to help.
Anything to help your husband, who is renowned for his dealings, would be an honor.
All right, excellent. I'll pour tea. And so, about a week ago, my husband, he has a device acquired through. I have some connection still, even given everything, and so I managed to help him acquire this device. We found I believe the term is where, a thin place in the way between planes, and he managed to open it up properly, and got to Wonderland, which is quite the feat. And then he went through hoping to make some sort of trade deal, and he's yet to return. And given the nature of Wonderland and the chaotic nature of whimsy magic, I think perhaps something bad might have happened. So I had gathered you all here. Discretion is of the utmost importance. I can't go through the guild, although, Professor, I do know you have a license, so I hope if the guild does get involved, we can sort that.
I will do everything in my power to mitigate any issues on that front.
Thank you. So, please help yourself to tea and
Molly doesn't need to be told twice. In fact, she's already sat down, and there's a total incongruity as this ridiculously classically drawn 30s style toon woman just suddenly starts opening her mouth super wide and just shoveling cakes and food into it until her cheeks are huge, and then swallows, and she's back to her normal exaggerated proportions.
The professor says,
Gorge falls out upon seeing this maw unhinge from Molly, and you hear Gorge's spear just clatter to the ground it should have been being held by a clasp on her back, but it just falls. And she's just like, what?
This is really good scran. Oh, I'm really glad I came. I was thinking about not bothering with this job, but I thought I've heard some things about Wonderland. I think there might be something there, somewhere there that I'm looking for, but I don't know. It's just rumors. Still, good to meet you all. She
The
slurped her
professor-
tea.
And so Gorge will say like, yeah, so that there was something very precious was stolen from me, and I've been working with Marsha's partner to recover it. And well, a contract is a contract, and if I need to recover him to get a contract completed, then that's what I need to do. So we'll just have to make sure we get him out alive, because no is not an answer for me.
I
Picks up the spear and clasps it back in.
The professor kind of looks to both sides and kind of waffles about awkwardly and fidgets with one of the chairs. It should be mentioned the professor is a centaur, and he's having a bit of a hard time finding a spot to situate himself. Would somebody mind, if it's not too much trouble, clearing one of these chairs? They're a bit heavy for me.
Yeah, and so Gorge will come over and just kind of like with a flick of she kind of like under the cloak, there's big kind of muscular arms. She'll just kind of flick a chair out of the way for him, and we'll go back to her seat.
Thank you kindly. And he situates himself. I too have some business in Wonderland of a rather personal nature, and as always, I am quite interested in performing more research on the subject. So I'm always happy for a way in.
So
excellent. The portal. So my husband is missing, and he'd written back a letter stating that he had dealt with a group known as the Orange Cup. He had spoken to their matriarch, their queen, I believe they call the term. Although it's the political machinations, I believe, doesn't really set her as a queen as such. I don't quite understand it, but she'd spoken to their queen, and she had been forthcoming with agreements until she wasn't. And what had happened to him, I don't know. But that is he has yet to be seen, and I received that 2 days ago, and nothing since.
So Marsha,
Yes.
what was the nature of your husband's dealing with the Cup Queen?
I'm not entirely sure. I believe there was some resources that she had access to, and possibly an artifact he mentioned, but it was mostly resources. They have delinium mines, and some possible to create whimsy, solid whimsy, which I think would be an excellent thing. My father, well, I have no dealings with him anymore, but there are certain parties who would be very glad to get their hands on solid whimsy. So I believe she was going to work with him on that, and delinium mines, and
I think Molly gives a sort of sideways look to Gorge and then back to their host and says, she's finished eating now, she's smoking again. She takes a big drag and then blows a big plume of smoke into their host's face. Hen, I think what our friend here was suggesting was that maybe your husband doesn't want to be found. Maybe he's engaged in a bit of a dalliance with the queen.
Well, I mean, it's no secret that we didn't marry for love exactly, but I mean, he would have mentioned that he was. We have our methods of communication, and I doubt if he were to dalliancing, as you delicately put it, he would have made some excuse about business and the negotiations taking longer than necessary. And you can see this is a sore subject for her. Yeah, he has methods. Believe me, he doesn't just disappear. He makes excuses, and I know they're excuses, and
It's quite all right. We understand. Can I roll to see if the professor knows anything about the Queen of Cups?
Sure. Yeah, you can roll an
Would that
insight check.
be
Yeah,
Oh,
an
wait.
insight check.
insight or history?
Oh, right, you're the professor. Yes. Yes, you can absolutely roll a history check.
Oh wow, 19 plus 2, I guess, right? So 21.
21. Okay. So what you've in your research, and you've been going over your notes on Wonderland in preparation for this meeting, the different houses of the card people, they are constantly at war. The orange cups have an enmity with the orange skulls. The blue crosses, no one likes the blue crosses. The blue X's, they're but they have fingers in everyone. They're disliked but tolerated. The green swords recently fell from grace. They're
Lost you.
so
Lost
the,
all you for a second.
so basically there's a bunch of houses, and they are in constant competition and collusion and with each other over small things. The orange skulls and the orange cups have a bad enmity. The orange cups are marginally aligned with the green swords, and of course the blue crosses. But that's a thing they don't admit to. But you know that they have at least some side dealings with the blue crosses. But yes, the orange cups are on the up and up mid-level family, kind of up and going up a little bit, and they do have some more connection to the outside, to Genesis people than most of the other houses. Although, the Orange Skulls did send one of their aces through recently.
Orange skulls?
So aces through. But that's the only connection. The Orange Cups mostly have cornered market on trading. Apart from, the Blue X crosses do back doors into certain things, but it's not something they heavily traffic in with the other houses. So it's not trade goods. It's something else they don't talk about, but comes in useful. So
when
would the professor have any more personal memories about any of this, or would it simply be notes at this point?
Orange cups are bad news. You can't quite remember why, but you have a nagging feeling the orange cups are not to be trusted. I mean, none of the houses are to be trusted. They are trying to, and certainly not the blue crosses, but the orange cups specifically are dubious.
The professor's knuckles kind of go a little bit white around his teacup, but he tries not to show his concern.
Okay.
Well, this ace that you're saying was sent out. Do you have any of your people following them? Oh wait, no, I don't know that. Sorry, never mind. And that's the wrong character voice.
Yeah.
So, I think my accent maybe was just slightly influencing you, Gorge. So, shall we get going or more chit chat? surely there is an urgent matter to attend to, and I'm sure you would like your husband back.
Yes.
Well, not to be a stickler, but you've said a lot of strange things about your family so far, and you've sparked my interest, Marcia. What's about your family? Where are you from?
Oh, me? Well, I had a falling out with my father. Uh, is what?
You're kind of cutting out again.
Please don't. Yeah. It kind of says, my father is not from the province. Less than
Uh-oh.
uh um
And so Barge will lean over and kind of whisper to Molly, like, does it seem suspicious that they get married for money and then just a few days later, or just a few months later, the husband gets abducted, or they get married for business reasons?
we've been married for years.
Oh, sorry, I was whispering to someone else, but okay, you've been married for years. Now I know.
But yes,
I've known the family for quite some time. I've always found them to be of the reputable sort, for the most part.
yes. My family it has interest in other provinces, and given the circumstances of our parting, I don't truck with them so much anymore. And they're well known in weapons sort of thing. You know how it is with weapons manufacturing.
Of course, quite
But
understandable.
yes, that's simply there.
You wouldn't happen to have weapons to help us on our journey by any chance?
Oh, well, I have my own. I had two. I suppose I could give you one.
I mean, I was thinking more of like a shield sort of situation, but
no. I don't usually. I'm not usually armed, as such.
Right, but you have family and weapons. Did I misunderstand?
No, but my family does not. They don't like me very much. I do have. I took with me as part of our and she kind of lifts her skirt up a little bit, and you can see strapped to an ankle holster a gun of sorts. I could give you one of these.
Molly just whistles when she sees the ankle, but inevitably it comes out as like a ridiculous wolf whistle, and her lips like extend hugely, and then she just says, damn it, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry. It's just this whole tune thing. It does this sometimes.
And
I didn't mean to do that. Nice gun, by the way, too.
I didn't mind. And she kind of looks down. Yes.
I've never read real tune before. I find tune physiology so fascinating. Perhaps I'll ask you some questions later, if that's all right.
If you really want to know what being a tune's like, go and spend a bit of time in Tunheim, and you'll find out soon enough.
I shall make some time to do that in my travels. Thank you.
It's not all it's cracked up to be, trust me.
I'm quite sure. My interest is purely academic.
What's it like having half a horse for a body?
Well, I suppose it's the same as having half a human for one, which is to say all I've ever known.
Do your feet hurt?
No, I find them to be quite durable. A bit, it's a bit awkward in situations like this. Hard to find a place to sit, but nice barn.
I care if you wanted to lie down. Would that be helpful?
Oh, it's quite all right. Quite all right. I've got. He holds up his cane. I've got this for just such purposes. The doctor says at my age it's best to take some extra support just in case, but I don't feel I really need it anyway.
So, do you have to eat half a ton of oats a day as well as a pork pie for your dinner?
The professor kind of smiles and shakes his head. I eat mostly the same as any human. I just prefer a bit more greenery, a bit more roughage.
Oh, fascinating. Anyway, since we're all here and we're talking strategy, what do all of you bring to the table? You're clearly the brains of this operation, Professor. I mean, I presume with a title and all.
I've been told that. I speak a number of languages, and I've been on a number of trips to Wonderland. I've also got my bow and arrow, although I'm a bit rusty these days, you'll find.
What about you, Kaz? You're very mysterious.
I have many ways to provide entertainment, and I have some fighting skill, and I'm quite good at infiltrating different locations as needed.
That could be useful.
And and so, but as you start to speak Gorge's name, you'll start to feel the ground. You'll feel she'll ding her bracelets together, and the table and the ground around you will start to shake, and she'll just say, I hope this speaks for itself.
Please, careful. And she kind of she's leaning forward to grab the teapot. That's very impressive. But careful.
And what about you? I know they say you hunt, but
let's just say this wouldn't be the first missing husband I've tracked down before. But if you know anything about tunes, we're pretty durable. I'll use my skills to the best of my ability to help you all. We'll find this fella of yours and bring him back. Hopefully in one piece.
So do we like clock? Okay, so when we look at a tune, are they like, is it just like they're constantly two-dimensional, like no matter what direction you see them, they're always that? Or do they have a flat bit? Are they like one
line?
Yeah, do they get to 1 pixel thick, or are they like always the same no matter which way they're facing?
I reckon it's like vector graphics and things like Wolfenstein. They always appear to be they appear two-dimensional, but just from whatever side you're viewing them. So I don't know. It's probably a bit of a mind messing situation at times. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the GM think?
Turns are kind of, if you move, the movement is kind of janky a little bit sometimes. If you do sudden movements, it takes a moment to catch up with the angle shift.
I'm sort of like in her mind, Gorge is like what would it look like when they try to lay down in a bedroll? Like she's just sitting there thinking, like she's not the sharpest person, but she's like sitting there like, all right, so they lay down in a bedroll, and then what is gonna occur? And then it's just gonna lie flat on top of them or something. So this is like Gorge is seriously interested in this now, and she's like, you are nope, this is a different character. You are such an interesting person. I'm so intrigued by this. It's very nice to meet you.
Belladonna
sketches as just also sort of making some notes because I don't know that he's ever seen a tune in person either.
Probably not. Unless you've been either to Tunheim or Wimbley Studios, which is in Startown, I believe, more toward the center of the empire. It's one of the capitals. It's a
I think
They
Kaz
can
was going to
send
say
you,
something, but we kept
yeah, sorry.
interrupting.
We completely lost you.
It's okay. It's fine. Belladonna Gorge, you ask many questions. But what is your story?
And she'll take off the cloak, and you'll see these these kind of protrusions coming out of her shoulder blades, and they have a few broken white feathers on them that are kind of have this eternal redness from the blood from when they were cut off. And so she says, I'm I am just like everyone else. I come from somewhere strange, and there's strange things about me. This was my punishment for trying to get Celestia out of a mountain of debt. And here I am suffering the price, banished to the mortal realms.
Well,
Very sorry for your loss. We've all got things about us we'd rather not speak about, I suppose.
Well,
Got that right.
I'll be doing my best to keep these covered up, because I find the Akari, we evoke some interesting reactions from people. And she reaffixes the cloak around her neck and puts the pike and the spear and the shield back on her back.
Don't worry, doll. I get it. There's nothing worse than being stared at all the time.
I get, relatable. Would you like a cloak?
Nah, you're all right. I'm used to
Okay.
it. Someone stares at me, I just stare at them right back. And if they keep staring at me, well, let's just not talk about that.
Well, you can always... Well, okay. You can always use the smoke as like you ever try to like weaponize the smoke, blow smoke at them when they start to stare at you? Just like really get it really smoky?
Yeah, it's strange. That works quite a lot, actually. Usually
That's what
gets rid of them anyway.
It very nearly got me out of the bar that we were sitting at before we got here.
Funny thing is, I never used to smoke. I don't know where these come from.
And so like again, this is like gorgeous, like, and so it's like she's gonna like watch for like the spawn in points for these cigarettes, like.
And the professor leans in also kind of curiously. Used to? Do you mean to imply you weren't always in your current form?
No. I don't really want to talk about it. Let's just say, if I get my way, I'll be human again someday, and I cannot wait. Anyway, what's the plan, boss?
Wish you
When are
well.
we going? How are we going?
Yes.
Where's the portal?
Right. Hopefully you can work together. And of course I will be paying you. There is some money, and they can be viewed, and I can offer not much connection, I'm afraid, but if you wanted to stay in province, we can offer you certain connections here. I know most of you are from out of province, but we can offer
Hey.
certain.
If it's got a comfy bed and a mini bar, I'm grand. Whatever you can offer, really.
Oh, that isn't what I meant, but I absolutely can hook you up with something like that. But first, and of course, gold. 200 each.
Sorry,
Only
did I hear you
175.
correctly? 200 each. Is that all?
Yes. Well, I could.
Have you ever been to Wonderland?
Uh-oh. Did everyone else just lose the DM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
Oh, no.
200, surely maybe we can do better. We could sell the husband and get a better price that way.
I like your thinking, Kaz.
I'm just saying, Marcia, how
I
much
don't-
is your husband worth to you?
I
Yes,
don't like
Conch.
the smell of this plant. I don't like the smell of this plant. There's something fishy about it. I don't.
Yes,
Selling a husband. This seems pretty dark.
why so little? It seems.
Maybe they have assets tied up, and maybe they need to liquidate.
Professor, you've been to Wonderland before. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? That place is weird.
Well, yes, I admit I'm not hurting for cash at the moment, but I too believe we deserve further recompense than a mere 200 gold for such an adventure. I would advocate we start the price at what say you? At least 500,000
500 each. 500 each minimum.
I mean, I have never been to Wonderland, but from what you are saying, it sounds like a dangerous place to go. And I cannot travel as freely as some here. So there is a risk that I would be taking that needs to be taken into account.
It's not particularly well. I mean, my husband did go missing there, but it's probably a matter of just getting the message back, and or he just forgot, or something. He does that sometimes. But he will come back. We'll get him back. But at 3 good recompense, yes.
We
Could you repeat
Really
that offer?
Yes. Yes, but 300 each.
I believe we were
All
asking
right.
for 5.
No
Trecento.
promises.
300.
I think we could do 400 might be doable.
Okay.
Given if we
Well, what if we do 300 and we just return most of your husband? Like the important bits, and we sell the rest of it.
The professor kind of, oh my.
Oh, the angel has teeth.
400. That's what I can do.
For the whole husband. We can't sell any of him.
I mean, you could sell his hair, I suppose, but please don't sell anything else.
Is his hair of a great quality?
I mean, wig makers will pay good money for hair, I heard.
I think he is bald.
He's not. He's longish hair. My point is 400. It's a very good number and a lot of gold.
All right, darling. 400 each. That's fair. Just one little thing. You know, Wonderlands can change people. We'll get him back in one piece, I'm sure, but he might not be the same as when he left.
Well,
And
I'm sure.
expression flashes over the professor's face when you say that. It's very quick and it's gone.
I'm sure that will be sorted out. I mean, we can. I mean, if he's sentient, I mean, I didn't marry him for his looks, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, if you don't have anything that will help us stay grounded, do you have anything that will help us stay grounded in Wonderland to keep us grounded to this plane, or
Oh, I've got
keep
some
our
lovely
minds intact?
I can ensure that the portal stays open. I think that's the main thing. Would be if the portal, you'd have to find a wearing to get back, and that might be difficult. But I can keep the portal open. That much tech I know how to handle. I think your connection to this plane should be fairly solid. Portal stays open.
I'm sure we'll be quite all right. We shouldn't keep the lovely lady waiting any longer when we've got a husband to rescue.
Yes, did either of you want? And kind of holds out the gun. It is a bit of a, well, certain things can go wrong, but it does have a bit of magic to it and a good kick.
I'll take it if no one else. The professor.
I've got my own piece, so you take it, Professor. You might need it.
Thank you quite kindly.
All right. You have
Andiamo.
ammo. The gun I will get you stats for. It does
I'll
have
add
some
that
interesting
later.
properties. Although if you shoot it, well, yes, the gun does have some interesting properties and may come useful. I'll just say that. But yes, and she leads you down the hall to a room that's been you can see it's been reworked with this sort of glowing this sort of ring with these glowing runes. It's kind of been placed at angles on the floor, and it's got there's bits of crystal that it's been wired to that are kind of set on tables. It's there's a small wire loop that's hooked into there's four pieces of two wire loops that are kind of crossing over but not but very close to each other, and so through them there's an archway, so and you can see the grass, you can see through it sky and grass, and the grass is this green. It is greener than any grass you've ever seen. It's just kind of a little much to look at. It's like someone oversaturated the green coloring on a picture of grass, and it's like grass. So you can see that, and that is Wonderland. It's requested that we take a bit of a 5-minute break before we all get into the portal. Would that be okay with everyone?
Okay.
Yeah. Gorge, when we come back, will kind of blink her eyes and we'll do divine sense to see fiends or any desecration if she thinks this is like foul in nature or otherwise.
Okay. We'll get to the results of the divine sense. Break. 5 minutes.
Cool.
everyone. Welcome back. My name is still Lee. We still have Molly, Elle, Thad, and Micah, and we are back in Wonderland. We're about to go through the portal. They've talked to the wife of their missing target. The professor has a new gun that might do some weird magical stuff. We'll see. They have glimpsed Wonderland, and the grass is very, very green. And that's about all you can see through the portal. There's a cloud, very distinctly shaped, a donut, like a ring. Could be a coincidence, could be nothing, but you can see that. And the hill. There's a bit of a hill, and you can see like a chessboard in the distance, a little bit over, but right in front of the portal is just very, very green grass. And
Can I
if I was gonna say Gorge was gonna do divine sense, right?
Yeah.
That was the plan. So
And
divine sense. Let me.
also
Desecrate a ground celestial fiend undead within 60 feet.
Celestial fiend undead within 60
Or,
feet.
or desecrated or hallowed ground.
No, there's no.
can the professor roll to see if he
No desecration or hallowness. You are.
Can the professor roll a history check to see if he knows what part of Wonderland they're in?
Yeah, go for it.
It's a 10, and my mod is +2, I believe.
So a 12.
Yeah.
You're not sure exactly, but you're definitely not in the Jabberwock Forest. So that's good, because Jabberwock Forest can be rather dangerous, in fact. And although you had a peculiar affinity for it, but it is rather dangerous. But no, the chess suggests that you're near the chess kingdom, but it's probably far off. You're in a kingdom. One of the kingdoms of Wonderland. Probably on some of the flatter plains. There's a few human kingdoms in Wonderland. Red Queen has a human contingent of subjugated humans. Probably not her. Those are further up in the chess, adjacent to the chessland. So you might be there. But then the chesslands also border on the other side. Other things. So not sure which side of the chessland you're on. Grass is fairly common in Wonderland, and the greenness is just a Wonderlandy thing.
Cass would like to cast Mage Hand through the portal and try and grab some grass and bring the grass back through the portal and see if anything happens to said grass.
Ooh.
Upon doing that, or if while putting the Mage Hand through the portal something gets triggered.
Yeah, you put the Mage Hand through, and it's you feel usually you can control the Mage Hand using your own hand fairly easily. You feel a lot of tingling in your hand when you send it through. Like there's this weird wonky, almost like your hand's asleep and pins and needles-y. Like weird coldness, but you managed to negotiate the Mage Hand through the Wonderland, and it's what 60. It's 15 feet from you. I believe Mage Hand is
30 feet, I think. I'll check.
Yeah, and then 60 if you have Arcane Trickster bonus things. If I remember correctly. Well, that might be other spells.
Telekinetic.
I don't have that though, so I don't have Arcane Trickster. I'm not an Arcane Trickster, so I think it's just 30 feet. So I just want to go in space, pick up some grass, and bring the grass back in and see if anything happens during that process.
Your hand feels really weird, and you're pretty sure that's because of the portal, not necessarily because of Wonderland or anything. Just being on two sides of the portal at the same time, like casting through it, something you have to have like a connection to that you have to control is wonky, but you do manage to grab some grass. It takes less than 5 pounds of force to pull grass up. So yeah, you have a handful of grass in the mage hand. Kind of pull it back through. As soon as you get back through, the tingling stops. You hold out the grass. It's weirdly green, like, and it looks kind of yeah, it looks pretty grass-like, pretty much like Genesis grass, various varieties. You think in what's the province? The one with the conglomerate, their province. You've seen some of this interesting. They're trying to make grass greener because that's their corporate thing. But none of it compares to this. This is it does weird things to your eyes because the color saturation is so hard, and it doesn't change when you come through. I mean, the lighting's different, but it's still this oversaturated green. It's really weird to look at, and the smell of it is actually interesting. If you kind of crush it with the mage hand, it smells like ozone, like yeah, it smells like a whole. Yeah.
So seeing this, Gorge will say, will turn to Martha and say, "Well, where was the last place your husband was seen, or where was the last place he reported himself being?"
He had been at the court of the Orange Cups, in their court. That's where he was.
So we're just looking for orange cups. All right, wonderful. And Gorge will take out her shield and like very skeptically will step through the portal.
Molly will watch Gorge pass through. All the while, she's been kind of looking skeptically at this very janky looking portal machine. And before she goes through, she just turns to Martha and says, "Are you sure this thing's safe, Hen?"
Yes, it's quite effective. I mean, if it's struck by lightning, that might affect things, or given there's circus realms, if those rub certain interdimensional things that could mess with it potentially, but on this side it's fine.
I didn't care about any of that. Never mind. I better get through as quickly as possible then. Right. She strides forward, but first she pulls out of her toon space a gigantic cartoon blunderbuss that appears to have eyes on the side of its huge fluted barrel mouth. Right. Ready to go, Barnabas? Let's get going. Just steps through the portal.
Okay.
The gallops through slow. He kind of smiles. Finally, I've made it back.
Does the wear go all the way down to the ground?
Not quite. It's about an inch, because it's cooked up. It has you kind of have to step. There's actually, yeah. It stops about just over like ankle, and there's a kind of edge to it where it's partial wonky, like almost like if you look at it too hard, the bottom part of it looks hard to go a little, like it gives you vertigo to look at it because it's not quite through, but it's not quite here either. And then there's about an inch off the ground that's just regular old Genesis. So hypothetically, you could, if you were very, very thin, slide under it, or like slide a piece of paper under it or something. And then there's about an inch of that, and then there's about an inch of vertigo-inducing, maybe, and then there's Wonderland.
So I'm 3'2". So I'm just gonna take a really big step in.
It's 2 inches off the ground. You can absolutely get over it. Might be a little more than you might have to be a little more conscious of it, but it's easily step overable.
The professor turns to him. You can ride on my back if you'd like. I don't mind it at all. You look rather light.
I'm pretty, how do you say, dense.
Well, it's up to you. I don't have any particular opinion either way. I just like to offer when we've got smaller companions.
Grazie.
But yeah, you head down into. So you come out on. You look at this side, and it's the same thing. It's about an inch of pure Wonderland, an inch of weird vertigo-inducing, but it's not wires. It you can kind of see an outline of something shimmering through, surrounding the portal, suggesting there's something holding up, but they're not. It's just like sparkles in the air, like insubstantial. And then you see the portal, and then yeah, so you can see Marsha on the other side. You can see the.
Very green, this grass.
This is only the start of it. This is relatively normal for Wonderland. Just keep your wits about you, all of you. Molly starts looking at it. Looks a bit incongruous again because she's got this sort of smoky, sultry look about her. That's just the way she's drawn. But she suddenly gets down on her knees and starts sniffing the ground, picking bits of grass, tasting them. And then she just goes, "This way."
Okay. Do you want to roll?
Does this look like Molly actually understands what's going on, or are we being bluffed right now?
It's up to you. Do you actually want to? Yeah,
I think
This
it's
stranger who just
50-50.
licked grass and told me this way. So yeah, no, Gorge is very skeptical of what just happened.
I will make a roll if it helps to find our way somewhere relevant.
Right. I would say tracking. Any particular tracking? Wait, you have no, because Wonderland isn't your favorite terrain, right?
No, but I can still make a survival roll, I presume.
Yeah. Survival. Yes, you can make a survival check. That's the one.
Okay,
Tracking.
that's what I'll do.
Afterwards, favorite terrain for the professor?
That's a 21.
Oh wow.
17 on the dice, a 4 on the skill.
That
No,
roll was so good, it disconnected Lee.
Shoot, did it connect me? Oh dear.
Your audio was still on. It's just your video.
Did I get? Do you want me to?
I have
fix
I have the
that, or
criminal.
try to fix that?
Can the professor also, even though oh shoot, we lost them again, didn't
Okay.
we?
Give me a sec.
We can hear them.
I'm just redoing the thing with the thing so that it goes the thing. And then
I would like to. I'd like to know, Lee. I have a background. My background is criminal, so I have a point of contact who acts as my liaison to a network of other criminals, and I was wondering if I knew someone through that network in Wonderland that could start us on this lead. And if I knew which town, like if I knew someone in a town.
So, yes. Strong.
Town is a little strong. You know
Town is a little strong. You do know that to let me.
You're cutting out again. Ah.
I'm not getting
Can you
it.
hear me again?
No audio. Oh shit! Now I'm not getting your more than one person's audio.
Okay.
hear me?
Yes. All right. Can you hear me?
You're back.
All of you.
You're back.
Okay, good. All right, good. What I was going to say is town is a little strong, but you do know that the you do know a young woman named Clara Cleves, Clara who has contracted with Wonderland before, and she's mentioned yeah, so you've met her on occasion, and she's mentioned that she mentioned, oh yes, that there's a one of the Blue Crosses, a 10 named Rico, and he is willing to work with outsiders. And so if you could find Rico, you might be able to. So that would be a point of contact if you were looking to gain some information, and if you name dropped, he'd probably be willing to help you. But you'd have to find the Court of Blue Crosses first. As for Molly Fox with the heavy high roll of survival, you do notice footprints. I will say, the grass does smell like ozone, and it tastes like butterscotch. Weirdly, but like butterscotch with a tinge of sour milk. But yeah, you do find there are these red splotches, and they tend to go in a direction. So that's a trail. Someone went through here and dripped, and it doesn't look like blood exactly. It's red, some sort of red substance. It's not blood. It is dripping as a trail. So you notice that. And you kind of stare off in the distance.
So one thing I should
There's
probably point. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Oh yeah, there is a building in that direction. You can't quite see that far in. There's a building, something in the distance in that direction.
Okay. One thing I should probably say about Molly, since I've forgotten to take my coat and hat with me when we went through the portal, it's quite obvious now, especially when she bends down. Her ears suddenly prick up, by which I mean a pair of ears you hadn't noticed before under her finger rolls, a pair of very orangey fox ears that twitch as she's trying to sort of get a lay of the land. And you probably notice as well that she's in front of you, bending over with a particularly buxom ass poking in the air, that she also has a fox's tail that must have been hidden under her duster coat before, that kind of waves about. And then she goes, blood or something. And there's a building this way. We should go this way. And immediately she sets off without waiting to see if anyone follows or anything else.
Gorge bounds
Yeah.
after the foxy lady.
Professor roll to see if he knows what the actually is.
Red stuff? Yeah, absolutely. I would
that
say
be a history?
Arcana.
history. I would say investigation.
All right. I've got plus 4 to investigate.
Oh,
But I only 9, so that's a 13.
all right. You kind of look at it, and it's red paint, probably.
Would he know
Hard to see.
what the connotation of red paint is?
That would be a history check.
Can I roll that as well?
Roll that as well.
Oh wait, shit. I'll take it. I dropped the die, but that's good enough anyway. 13 and then +2, so 15.
Yeah. It's used for a lot of things. Art, obviously. There was rumors that the certain of the chess people have very particular. There's a whole incident with the chess queen, the red queen, and red paint that But yes, you know that trees and bushes are often painted different colors, based on the whims of, whoever is in charge. Painting shrubs and bushes different colors is not unheard of. So someone probably trying to paint something red. A tree or a bush would be possible. Might have been marking. Different reasons people would mark areas of the grass. For example, big red X's on the grass are used for a lot of things. Some of them don't make any sense. There's a whole that's a whole thing. You mark, and it's tradition to go mark them with spots for them with red X's. Is then right next to them in a nice square. Simply because it's tradition. And you've been trying to look in. There are notes. You have copious notes on why that is, and none of them are. A lot of them are contradictory and just, which is the nature of research in Wonderland. Sometimes things don't make sense. But yes, that is a use of red paint. People mark X's on the ground for other reasons in red. Painting shrubs is fairly commonplace. The Red Queen is known for being vitriolically opposed to things that aren't red in certain cases. So red paint is used a lot in her kingdom. But it's red paint, probably painting something red.
Professor turns to everyone. We should perhaps exercise some degree of caution in following this. It seems to be the work of a local, and associations with red, its paint can be quite varied and unpredictable. It could be harmless. It could be could lead us into a rather unsafe situation. We should
Wait,
keep
it's paint.
Well, there are many groups that use the color for very.
Explains why it tasted so bad.
Oh, please don't eat Wonderland paint. That's not a very good idea.
I'll take your word for it, Professor. So, like, these cards are, our boss, she said something about them being like gangs. So, like, do they just paint their gang signs everywhere or something? Is that what's going on here?
Something like that. It could be a lot of things. The Red Queen in particular is rather partial to just about everything being painted in the color.
Oh, she'll love me then.
The Red Queen is a chess queen. Actually, she's known for being particularly ruthless, but the Red Queen is a chess queen. The Red Hearts is a faction of cards.
And would the professor? Can I roll to see if the professor knows anything about the Red Queen?
Yeah. Roll
another history.
Yeah, another history.
Not a great one. 7 + 2, so 9.
She's a chess queen. Of one of the factions. You heard some tales about her and red paint, but you don't know much about her. Chess factions are not your area of expertise, so you have a few scattered notes. The Blue Queen, you actually know a little more about her, and her betrayal of the White Queen, which caused some thing involving a dalliance with a red pawn and the White Queen, and the Red Queen took the Blue Queen. There was dalliance between the White Queen and the Blue Pawn. That's your best knowledge of the chess kingdoms, is that whole convoluted affair with the white and the blue. The Red Queen did not partake in that, though, so you don't have a lot of info.
I'm afraid I don't know much else about the red, but anyone with power around here can be rather, well, anyone at all, but especially with power can be rather tempestuous.
That's what I heard. Well, we'll just get on fine then. Look, Professor, unless you knew exactly where we're meant to be going, I think we should go and ask for some directions in that building over there. There must be someone that can tell us who we're looking for.
I'll talk my way out of anything. I'm completely fine. Hey, let's see what happens. And you'll see the rings go off again, and her eyes become red.
Professor Lutwidge kind of looks to the side and winces a little bit, but he can't think of a good reason to say no, so he says, yes, of course. That makes perfect sense. Let's continue our investigation forward.
Okay. Head forward.
And so when Molly's walking, every now and then she does a little tiptoe, like comedy tiptoe, and then hides behind a tree, and then does another little tiptoe, hides behind a rock. It's not a very efficient way of moving, but it just seems to be what she does.
Are you fully how tall is Molly?
I reckon she's a full 6 foot in height.
Okay, so my idea for we have we have Al, who's the shortest person. Then we have I think Gorge is 6'6". I wrote her as 6'6". So you just have this huge kind of woman with this shock of green hair walking, and this cartoon slipping from side to side with this small cheese person walking, or small maggoty person walking behind, and a centaur. I love the party. We're bringing aesthetic, and it's wonderful.
I'm a short king. What can I say?
You are a short king. I love that for you.
A short king. So you guys are heading through, and you follow the trail of. And you do notice it is sort of toward the castle. There is a big red circle painted on the ground. Red.
I'm walking towards it 100%.
Hey, momento. Bella donna. Mage hand into, I want to get 15 feet outside the side of the circle. Hand in, see if it sets off a trap.
You kind of see. As soon as the mage hand goes in, you see someone pop up out of the grass. Aha!
Ducks and hides immediately. He tries to get really small. I'm gonna hide behind.
The other one pops up. Hee hee! Oh ho! And you can see they're trading each other off.
Can I
What are
actually
they?
mechanically hide behind Gorge?
They look. Sure. I guess so. You're shorter than her. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a thing as a racial feature, which says that I can elusive. You can move through the space of any creature that is larger than you. You can attempt to hide, even when obscured only by a creature that is larger than you.
And she is taller than you, so yeah, you can hide behind her. Roll a stealth check.
Stealth.
Yeah, stealth.
That will be a 15.
Yeah. Actually, I should probably roll a.
Also, real quick, while we've been walking, I just wanted to say that the professor's been kind of looking behind him a lot, and he's kind of tilted his hat just ever so slightly to obscure his eyes.
Good to know. And as and they kind of point at the hand. You owe us a game of checkers. That is the rule. You owe us a game of checkers. And they're dressed in blue and red pinstripes, and they have these green blankets that they've laid out, and they jump out from under them. And they have these red and blue pinstripes, and these matching like red and blue pinstriped hats with little little bauble on top, like almost like a pom pom. Yeah, they have little blue and red striped hats with pom poms and brims and the
So these weird little clown gangsters, have they actually noticed the rest of us, or do they just seem fixated on this spectral
they
hand?
notice the rest of you, but they are talking to the hand specifically.
How big are these creatures?
They're about 2'8", 2'9". They're 2'8" and 3/4 each.
Can I take the pom-pom hat off of their head with my mage hand, please?
You can certainly try.
Also, can I roll to see if the professor knows what they are?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, wow. That is a 4, which I guess +2 if it's history check.
Yeah, so 6. You're not sure exactly. Don't seem to be particularly dangerous. They're not. Although they are very insistent, and you know that in Wonderland, things that don't seem dangerous can become dangerous if left unchecked. So
The professor breathes a little sigh of relief because the unfamiliarity in and of itself sets him at ease.
that's fair.
The things he is afraid of, he's quite familiar with.
Yeah. No, these guys are these guys are small blue pinstriped creatures. They look like people. Yeah, they look like very short, pudgy people. Disproportionately small limbs, though.
Gorge is not afraid of these little things. She thinks she's looking at them and looking at her pike, and is like,
Oh,
"Yep, this will go fine for me either way." And so she'll just step into the circle and say, "All right, I'll play checkers. What do you need? What is checkers?"
Oh, indeed. You have entered our circle, and
I have.
therefore you are required to lead us in a game of checkers.
Great.
Nobody's entered. Sure.
George, hurry up and finish this game so we can get a move on. Like, because I'm sick of just sitting here listening to these gangster clowns.
The professor...
It's the rules. They said it was the rules, and so we got to play the game.
The professor approaches them as well. Hello, I am Professor Lutwidge. I am somewhat familiar with the rules around here. Perhaps make a deal. Be willing to offer... Yes. Well, no, actually, he lingers just outside.
Okay.
He addresses them first. If we play you in a game of checkers, will you in turn give us some information we're after?
Only on the condition that you win. If not, we get to take 3 things.
Good
Well,
luck with that.
Is this a cake
We
or
will
death
see how that
situation?
goes for you.
What do you have for us?
let's participate then. The professor hangs back. The rest of you, I came from outside the circle. I cannot, I have things I'm not able to part with at this time, unfortunately.
Then you look at me, let Gorge do this. Since she's stepped forward.
Well, you're already in the circle. It's too late. The board has been set, and the checker pieces laid out. And the two of them sit and does Gorge have any kind of gaming set proficiencies?
No.
All right.
Unsubstantiated confidence.
I'll step in since I feel bad now because I like hid behind Gorge and I'm the one who mage-handed this situation, so I feel responsible. I'll step in, and I have proficiency with gaming sets as dice.
Okay. So, it is 2 on 2. And through and through. Belmar Blade, one Hackensack. But this is not poetry. This is checkers. 2 on 2. Belmar Blade style.
Molly yawns languidly, sits down on a rock, and smokes, and just watches these proceedings with vague disinterest.
Gorge
Alright.
walks over to the edge of the circle and asks for a cigarette.
I don't know if this will work, but I try and
So-
hand her a cartoon cigarette.
So she tries to take it. What happens?
It, you flick it and you have one. And as you go to smoke, it sparks up, and you take a puff, and all the smoke comes out the sides of your eyes and your nose. Just kind of smoke, and it kind of wreathes your head.
Oh, so she'll say, "Wow, this is really awful. I hate this. Here you go." And she'll chuck it back and walk back to the chest game.
And as soon as you do that, the two cigarettes kind of smash into each other and become a cigar.
We have a thing here. If you have infinite cigarettes, maybe cigars are really valuable here, and we can open a cigar business in Wonderland.
Fascinating.
Which, as you smoke a cigarette, as it burns down. But yeah, so it's Gorge and
Gas.
Cass. Oh, Gorge and Cass. All right.
And
Gorge and
Professor
Cass.
hangs just at the outside to give guidance if necessary, but he has his reasons why he
Can
can't
I
get
also
involved.
can I reach up and just like grab Gorge's hand and look at Gorge and just say, "Hey, you got this." And I would like to give bardic inspiration to Gorge.
Okay.
Please don't touch me. Your hand is gross. And thank you.
Oh, mi scusi, mi scusi.
No, you
All
don't have to scoozy anything. You're great.
Um.
I appreciate you
Appreciated.
from a distance. And she fixes a nose clip.
All right. So you sit. Well, the two of them begin. Sit.
Understand.
Each other, and they look at you. And then look at each other. Is that within the rules? I don't think. I've never said otherwise, but we always sit. But the rules don't say so. Kind of look over. Very well. Decided. You may stand. But that means we go first.
Fine.
So they begin. Two of them not so smart, so they're gonna roll, and it's gonna be best 3 out of 5 on rolls. This is how we're gonna do this.
What kind of roll is this?
So they're both gonna roll and add them together, and you're both gonna roll basic intelligence check. Gorge is gonna roll a basic intelligence check.
Oh, great.
And who's gonna roll proficiency. Well, you do have bardic inspiration for one of
Mhm.
them.
Is there any role that the professor can make to assist from where he is?
I can say you can give one of them advantage with the help action.
Cool. Do I roll for that? And what do I roll? Like what stat?
Them so they get better rolls because you're providing tactical advice. Yeah, the help action
Cool.
is just yes.
One of
So-
us will roll advantage, I guess.
Okay. So
Yes.
First
So-
roll. 13.
First roll. 13. For an intelligence check.
It's just die. Well, it'll be 12 because
Okay,
I have
it's for
minus 1.
intelligence. So 12. Okay, and rolls gaming the gaming set, which would be proficiency plus, I believe, intelligence. So yeah, proficiency plus intelligence. So plus the d20.
Okay. I have proficiency in gaming then, so I guess that's
Right.
that'll
So
be a
plus 2. Yeah, it would be
19.
plus. Right. Okay.
So we have a 32. We have a 31.
Yeah. Ooh. All right. And 9. Yeah, you win that round.
Cool.
So George.
Flies fly off of the top of me.
Hi, Raiders.
Don't know where they're
we
coming
have
from.
raiders?
Welcome to the game. We're playing checkers.
Yes.
What exactly are we?
It's a high stakes game of checkers. Okay. Next,
Can I mage hand my own dice to turn it into a nat 20? Is that a thing I can do?
Oh wait, no, you'd have to cheat on the checkers.
I could cheat on the check.
Oh.
We'll see how badly this goes.
well, if you want to cheat, you can roll a sleight of hand check instead of an intelligence check if you want to try and cheat.
So my roll was 15 for the next
Sleight
one.
of hand?
Nope,
Next one.
just regular intelligence. check, 15.
Okay,
Oh,
15, and then a nat 20, which puts you at 25.
22.
Okay.
So, yeah. Should've. I'm just doing it.
And we get a- Oh, okay. One of them rolled a nat 1. So yeah, you won that one. So yeah, it would be a 0 for yeah, no, you win the second round.
And your bardic inspo is a d6 right now?
Correct, yes. It is currently a decent.
Solid round. Okay.
All right. The third round is each you make the gaming set proficiency, and you can either make an intelligence check or try a sleight of hand check to cheat, but they get a perception check to try to notice. If they notice, they'll raise a fuss.
15.
Which
Or intelligence?
also roll do they get advantage on from my help?
Let me.
Oh yeah,
I guess maybe I'll roll at advantage because I don't have anything.
sure.
Okay, so the first roll was a 15, and the second roll with the bardic inspo, and the second roll was a 16. Ring a ding ding.
Okay, 16
I
and
got a 13.
13. Okay, and these two chuck their heads get. Oh, that's not bad. Oh, they might actually win. Hang on. So 16 plus 13 is
29.
29. 18 plus 9 is
29.
and 18 plus. They might actually.
27.
Yeah. No, you win that round.
Okay, so we
Yeah, so
we have
basically-
we have played the rules. Oh, this is not my accent. That's your accent. We have played the game. We did the rules. So now give us your things.
Informazione. We need informazione.
I want information and other things.
You're from under it. You heard of it? It's very whimsy there. There's wearings there. Heard.
So we're looking for a man from outside of Wonderland. Sorry, out of character. Does anyone remember what his name was supposed to be?
I did
We're
not.
looking for
Marcel
the Court of Orange Cups.
The Court of Orange Cups. You go that way.
Thank you. Are you
Oh,
aware?
Is Wonderland a place where like compasses get janky? Like if they point, it's that way, and we walk that way. Is it going to take us to like the land of cotton candy instead of the Court of Orange, or is like directions? Are they directions?
Directions are directions.
I do
the
have
compass-
favorite.
Do not work.
I'm just gonna like squint at these two little weirdos and maybe try and gauge whether they're being truthful or not with some insight.
Sure.
Just to reassure people. Or not, because I rolled a 5!
They seem incredibly dumb. You have no idea what they might be thinking.
These two
But
chuckle nuts are
they're
no
not-
threat. Gorge, don't worry about it. Let's go. Let's go.
Want some of the things? Do you have any things to give us or to trade?
One piece of information. You may ask us 3 questions. 2 more.
Sorry, do we have the name of the guy that went missing? I feel like we should ask about him directly.
Arthol Cuthon.
Coughlin.
You cut out a bit.
Arthol Cuthon.
Still cut out. Was it Arthol?
Barthol.
Barthol.
What do you know about Barthol Coughlin?
Oh! An outsider. Came through. Ace does not like him. The other ace, not the ace. The ace likes him. No, true. The ace likes him. The other ace does not like him.
The professor takes some notes. I see, thank you. So the ace that does not like him and the ace that do like him, can you describe their respective suits for us, if you please?
Orange cups. Orange cups have a lot of aces. They have
And
4.
the orange cup ace liked him, or the orange cup ace disliked him? Or there were 2 orange cup aces and one of each disliked and liked him respectively. To clarify.
Ace of orange cups likes him, and the other ace of orange cups doesn't like him. No, the other ace of orange cups dislikes him, and the ace of orange cups likes him. No, the ace of orange cups likes him. And they argue about this for they
Right. Well,
they're just-
you've been very helpful. We're getting out of here now. Good luck with your...
Wait, we have
big
one more
game.
question, don't we?
We
You
do?
do get one more question.
There's one more. It was 3 in total.
Yeah.
Have you heard of have a friend, an acquaintance named Rio? Do you know where I could find Rio?
In the court of the blue swords. He's a 10. Not a fun man.
A 10. Ah.
10 of blue swords.
Thank you most kindly for your assistance in
Grazie.
these matters. We hope you have a lovely day and play many more checkers games.
They give a bow. Like this gesture
That's-
bows.
That was
dancing.
her.
So, looks like we might have a bit of trouble. This poor Barthol fella, he's gonna be... I don't know. Sounds risky. Sounds like he's in a nest of vipers.
Well, we have to befriend mongoose then. So we just have to find where the mongoose are, ingratiate ourselves, and then we can save him from the vipers.
That's a plan.
It's a beginning. It sounds like our cloaked friend here may have a lead on someone who's not the most friendly with our vipers.
Hi, who's this Rio?
Rio. He is a colleague.
Can I roll to see if the professor has any knowledge of Rio?
Yeah, go for it.
Another history?
Another history.
Or would that be society?
I think
Oh, wait,
history. I
no,
don't know if they're separate skills.
There's no society in fighting.
Knowledge.
Last campaign was Pathfinder. Is an 11
No,
plus
yeah, no.
2.
The blue swords, you don't know Rio specifically, but blue swords are no one likes to admit to associating with the blue swords. They're a pernicious lot. Although if you want someone assassinated or found and assassinated, they might be your people.
Does the same question as before? Does the professor have any personal memories of the blue swords?
Not good ones. You get the overwhelming sense they. Although.
Oh, you cut out an important part. A sense that
you don't want to be anywhere near them. That is they wouldn't help. It wouldn't benefit you to be anywhere near them.
I don't know that seeking out this. I don't know that seeking out this Rio individual is in our best interest at this time. I think we ought to press forward directly to the Orange Cups.
Yes, but it is always good to know where people are.
Well, I suppose information is never harmful, but seems we're wasting time if we don't get right to the cups, no?
Sí, claro, andiamo. We had
All
a
right.
question and I asked the question.
That's fair.
The question that they give us, we win. Must use all the victories that we get.
Luigi's has a point.
Not all tools are worth utilizing just because they're at one's disposal.
Come, my four-legged friend. We have to. We it says let us. As I know, you have the heart of an intrepid researcher, and bravely push forward. We must, and kind of will sort of do her best to lift the professor and start to carry him.
Roll through that.
I think the rule of funny. With tune physics, you can lift him up and start going forward. If you want to get more than a few steps, you will have to roll a strength check.
Yep, no problem. Athletics?
Yeah, athletics.
See, 8 plus ding, 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 ding. 13.
13. And is the professor trying to resist?
Yes. What should I roll for?
It would be an opposed athletics or acrobatics check. Whichever you're better at. I guess you could roll the one you're worse at if you really wanted to, but...
We'll do acrobatics. She has a +4 to. Oh shit, not 20. +4 has a 20.
So
that was the cat's
doing.
How
it goes down is, because of rule of tune, you go right up in the air, and then you kick your legs, and you start trying to... And then go bloop, back on the ground with like a thud.
Wait, but isn't that not the tune person who just picked me up?
Yeah,
no, not Gorge.
Gorge
I thought
you up. Okay.
That tried to pick me up.
It was Gorge who tried to pick you up.
No, Molly knows better than to approach a horse from behind or a centaur.
That's fair. Okay, Gorge. Yeah, no, you try to pick him up, and you kind of go like one arm on each side, on each flank, and kind of push, and you kind of wiggle your way out, and end up kind of getting like you get shoved back 5 feet by one of the hooves, unharmed, but moves his hips in a way that you can't get him.
Dang.
I lightly, not with any force to actually cause harm, but he lightly just kind of bats her on the shoulder with his cane. Don't pick up an old man. Haven't been manhandled like that in some time.
I promise you, let's. I'm just trying to speed along your research, Professor. And she'll start walking in the direction that the gremlins pointed us.
Okay.
Well, That's where we're headed. We just don't want to get involved with any blue swords. That's all. To the orange cups.
Agree to disagree.
The orange cup. Yeah, you head down and you see the grass comes down and it kind of slopes up and you see a road almost entirely lined with statues, these square statues depicting orange cups, very thin, tablets almost erected as statues with orange cups that were painted orange. Tablets are plain stone, but the cup parts are painted orange and engraved in.
So are these like teacups or are these like goblets?
I think.
Or are they like mugs? I think. What beverage?
No.
I like drinking tea in a cup with a saucer. What kind of cups do you like, Gorge?
Well, before this happened to me, I was always a big fan of the goblets before everything went to well, the underworlds or to the void.
Pear-shaped.
Indeed.
Quite fond of a simple little teacup myself. Oh, I used to be a fan of more of a beer lager back in my younger days, but that was some time ago.
Mm.
I don't really care for tea, but I can barely taste anything these days anyway. I used to prefer to be in my cups than drinking from them, but
Now,
I can't really get drunk now.
you say you cannot taste anything, yes?
Everything's a bit muted, unless you eat toon food, which is usually made of ink, and otherwise it's just kind of a bit. I can taste really spicy things, but a lot of material flavors just go over my palate, I guess.
Well,
So it sucks.
remind me to ask you about this later.
So there's something you got to be very careful with these really like spicy cooks because what their secret ingredient. It's really bad for you, but it's very popular and they sell it all over the empire. I don't know if they sell it here, but it's actually angel dust and it's very very bad for you. And the people who would sell it to you or who would do that, it's toxic, especially for toons. That's what I heard.
Can I make a nature roll to ponder on whether angel dust is made out of angels?
That would be more of a history check.
Okay. 15. Not bad. That's it. I don't have any
Literally
history.
The brown powdered wings of angels.
Ah.
It is Eddie. Hi. You can get from it. It is
Interesting.
rather illegal in most provinces, although not empire-wide.
You're just talking nonsense there, Gorge. I know fine well what angel dust is. It's not bad for toons. What is bad for toons is anything juicy. I miss having an orange. I haven't had an orange in so long.
Yeah, best not eat oranges.
That stuff, it's like, I mean, I suppose it is. It's an orange, it's acid, but it's like a really strong acid if I try and eat one.
And how do you feel about enhanced milk?
I've only ever, who I used to work for, we've moved all different milk in all different kinds of stages.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not partial to it myself, but I don't feel a strong moral pull.
Okay.
I've had
Just milk.
exotic, but I don't know or tried anything enhanced. How exactly?
Well,
you would know.
it is a complicated process of fermentation, and I talk to you about it later. Anyways,
you
you were
would know.
describing. I believe we were talking about the cups that we see in front.
Yes, you see the you would know that because cheese is illegal in all but one province, there is enhanced butter is the technical term. Well, that's what's used in a good nom. So you're like, you would know that. But you know there's a market for enhanced butter just because it gets around the it's a wiggle worm around the cheese crackdowns of the empire.
Does anyone know why they cracked down on cheese in the Empire? Sorry, enhanced butter.
Something, and like upon hearing the word cheese, like you'll see this look of like, oh, how could you? That's illegal. Enhanced butter? Okay, I've heard of enhanced butter, but how dare you? And you'll see her kind of getting ready to ding the bracelets to get the vibration going.
Molly just looks at her kind of with a sort of sideways smile, not sure if she's serious or not, and then just takes another draw of her cigarette.
When the vibrations in the bracelet start, Kaz is gonna take a full leap as far to the side away from George as humanly possible.
And so you'll hear,
rather not humanly, but you know what I mean.
And so you'll hear she's staring at Molly, and then she's just gonna go bam, and then you hear this thunderclap in the distance. But otherwise, nothing seems to happen. Be careful.
Okay.
Vocabulary is important. The professor will tell you.
It's true. I speak quite a few languages. All of them, precision is key.
Excuse me while I eat my words. And yeah, she'll just those words will come out of her mouth as she says them, and she'll just grab them and quickly shove them back in.
The professor is very impressed. Fascinating. May I try one? I'm very curious. I'm rather a fan of words.
Is there a particular word you like?
Well,
Wait a minute. Why am I humoring you this way? This is ridiculous. We've got a job to do. Come on.
So we're on the. So we're looking. So Gorge looks both ways on the path and tries to riddle out which way they should be going.
Can the professor roll for? Would that be a nature check? He's got Wonderland is his preferred.
More survival, but you really don't have to roll. There's a big archway, and then it goes in one direction. So, I mean, I guess you could go an opposite direction, but it's kind of a straight line, and you're at the end of it. So,
I don't know any of their music, but Gorge will go one direction. It's too late to apologize.
Is that what the kids are listening to these days? Singular direction. I don't really understand the youth. Well. Right this way. We must.
I will say it depends on you.
Oh. Have we lost?
I think we've lost Lee again. But yeah, I think, it. While it might be. Can I string together a string of One Direction jokes? Well, let's say watermelon sugar bye to these cups.
I mean, we are in another world right now.
Personally, I like to ease on down the road.
Nice. That's the story of my life.
Hey, Angel, when are we going to stop talking about this One Direction and get a move on?
I mean, I'm happy to walk along, and you know, she'll stash her shield behind her and clip it back in, and pull out her pike and just kind of use it as a walking stick and walk alongside the professor, where the professor is using his cane, and she'll kind of imitate it with the big pike.
But perhaps we are thinking about this wrong. Perhaps we should go by a back street. You know, there are some backstreet boys that we might run into, and maybe there we'll find Rio.
Well,
See, only I hear that sometimes like Backstreet Boys can get you connected to that really good food. It's a bunch of ladies that come together to make like really good flavorful food. They're called the Spice Girls.
Ah,
I've heard-
sí, yes, claro, sí.
well,
Oh,
it's not the same as it was.
You know
indeed.
it. You know it's not.
It is never as the same as it was. That is how a time works.
It is true. It is true.
I mean, but you
I
never
mean,
give
I'd
anything
love
up,
to go to a
so,
sushi restaurant
or let people down. Oh,
if they have the Spice Girls
okay.
food.
So you guys can't hear me, right?
We can hear
Yes,
you
now.
now.
You're back.
So it is 4:59 and we end at 5. So I will say, as you walk, you see this big edifice. It's a castle, and there's a gate, and a drawbridge, and there's a moat around it.
Uh-oh.
And so, and there's a gate, drawbridge up. There's a gate on the other. You can kind of see on the other side, but the drawbridge is up. It's around, and you can see like heads poking up out of the moat. There's something in there. But yeah, you guys are on the edge of the moat with no way across, presumably. Depending on how you go. That's a problem for a month from now. Thank you all for coming to our stream. This has been Wonderland Complications. Next week on Saturday, there is another.
Uh-oh.
And
We've lost your...
we've lost the audio again. Okay, good. So yeah, there's another game next week on Saturday, a different game. Should be a lot of fun. But yeah.
Light of Cinders next weekend.
Oh, cool. All right. I'm not in that one, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Okay. So
Thanks, Lee. That was great.
Yep.
Lee.
Yeah, thank you all for playing.
Was,
All right.
this was wonderful.
All right.